Hello everyone, DM Johnny here from Dungeons & Dice, and today we're going to go over 10 more magical items, low-level magical items you can add to your campaign. Let's get started. Number one personal favorite of mine, actually I forgot about it until I read about it, and that is the Tankard of Plenty. Here's my little tankard.
That's what I do. I drink and I know things.
It's got a jaguar on it. You'll probably want a bigger one than that. This one's pretty cool, and all you got to do with this is when you say the command word, which is like Illifrin or something like that, I don't know. In Elvish, I think it means beer me. I'm not 100% sure, I'm a little rusty, but it refills 3 times a day. So if you give this out, they're getting 3 free drinks a day. No big deal. For number 2, we're gonna go with living gloves, which I don't have living gloves, but I have hands, which are pretty similar. And yeah, they're basically what they sound like. You put them on, they're like sort of living actual gloves. They're symbiote, so they actually attach to your skin, which means you cannot get them off unless you remove curse. However, if you do let these onto your hands, you get one of the following options. 1, you get expertise in sleight of hand. It's a mid-tier skill. Sometimes it's useful, sometimes it's not. You get expertise in any of the tools you want. So it says thieves tools, but then it says any of the crafting tools basically. So again, any crafter is gonna love them. Or third one, for the bard, you get expertise, which is you double your proficiency modifier when playing any instrument. Gonna help you out with performance, gonna help you out with tons of other things. Only downside, like I said, need break curse to get them off your hands. For number 3, we're gonna go with the bag of tricks, specifically the gray one because that's the lowest one. And what this is, you basically reach on down and you pull out a creature. Similar to this one right here, except I don't actually think you can roll a chicken. All right, you can go down. Oh, okay. Ooh, camera shy apparently. Anyways, so what you do with this bag is you roll a d8 and each number has a different beast. You pull that out, boom, it's allied with you until either it dies or the next morning, next dawn, whatever. They can do this 3 times per day. I would probably limit that to 2. And next thing, don't let them roll the same number twice. So if they get 2 8s, no, you get an 8 and you roll again basically. Because there's actually only 2 powerful creatures on there. Powerful. It's a direwolf and an elk. And an elk, if something's prone, is like 8d4s, or 4d8. So again, limit it to 2. It's not nearly as bad. Plus, you got to get less tokens that way. For number 4, we're going to go with our first homebrew item. And if you like homebrew cool magical items, links down below. $1 a month, you get 30, 40 items. And we add 2 more every week. We just keep going, keep going. And this one is called the Necromancer's Blade. Pretty simple, actually. It is a +1 weapon, so +1 whatever. We have it as a sword. You do what you want to do with it. Every time you kill a creature with this, you can then roll a d10 or a d20. And on an 11 through 20, a zombie will spawn. And it uses a zombie stat block, so even if it's a dragon, it's a zombie stat block, and it acts right after you. At the start of your next turn, it goes away. So basically, you get a little zombie extra attack potentially, or it might take a little bit of your damage. That's about it, not that strong. With multi-attack, what, maybe you'll get 3, 4 zombies, but again, they're all gonna disappear right after, so not super strong, but super cool. For our 5th item, we are going to go with the Sentinel shield. This shield's pretty cool. I like magical shields that don't give additional AC, and this one does not. This one only gives you advantage on initiative, which is strong, I understand, but most of the time, Dex is going to be the dump stat of the guy using the shield. Their initiative's not great. They're normally a little bit slower, but they need to be up at the front. This helps get them maybe going potentially before someone else so they can take a couple more hits or at least get in position so it doesn't take them 2 or 3 turns to actually start fighting. So I straight up forget to mention that this shield also gives you advantage on all perception checks. The reason I forget that is because I remove that part. In my games, you do not get that buff. Likely you're already gonna have 5, maybe even 6 players doing most of the perception checks together. There's no point in giving them advantage on all perception checks is way too strong. Remove that. Trust me, they'll still love the buff to the initiative. For number 6, another super simple thing that you could really just throw into a loot pile when someone gets a good investigation check or whatever, and that is the elemental gem. Yellow's the weakest if you need really quick on the fly. Other ones have the ability to sort of do like swirling, like the water one can go inside of a creature and swirl around it. The earth one can't really do that. It just does bludgeoning damage. And this does pretty much what you expect. You break the crystal, and for 1 hour, the elemental is on whoever cracked its team. And then it's gone. One and done, easy to hand out. Again, you don't like it, you don't have to hand that many out. For number 7, we are gonna go with the staff. Kind of staff like this, but not with a wolf. Instead, it'll have a little snake. Staff of the Python. This one has the potential to be strong in very certain situations, but the best part about it is once the snake is dead, you can't use it again. So what it does is, as a bonus action or something, I can't exactly remember, use the command word, the staff turns into a giant constrictor snake. When a giant constrictor snake wraps around you, whatever that creature is, if they failed or whatever, they're grappled, quote unquote, they are now restrained. And if they are restrained, well, that sucks. Restrain is like the strongest, next to stun, one of the strongest status effects. To give you an example, I've seen a giant constrictor snake actually like wrap around a dragon because it can only go up one size taller or higher, quote unquote, but the giant constrictor snake is already classified as large. So it actually can do it to a lot more creatures than you would think. And as a DM, if you don't like it, just launch a fireball at it. Once it's dead, the thing's gone. For number 8, we're gonna go with our next and last homebrew item. That's a Town Watch Badge. This badge, you hold it up basically as a bonus action. You use the command, the spell command, I should say, and you have two options. You have freeze and you have halt, both of which are the same thing. If they fail the DC 12 wisdom, I believe, then they must basically they stop. For 6 seconds, they can do nothing. Great in combat. Lore-wise, makes a ton of sense, helps guards catch up. Don't hand out a lot of these, but maybe just someone who doesn't get a lot of magic or no magic, barbarian or a fighter or something, why not? Give them a shot. Number 9 is a 2-for-1 special because both of these items look exactly the same, and as a DM, it's fun to troll. I can't actually do it currently because my players are wise, so I gotta wait a couple more games. But it is the Dust of Disappearance and the Dust of Choking and Coughing or something like that. They look the exact same. The only way you can tell the difference is if you identify it. So what I do, because I'm a troll, is I give them a 1d4, and like they have to roll a d4 every time they throw out the pouch. And when they roll a 1, they actually throw out the choking and coughing dust as opposed to the cloaking dust. Obviously, this can get you into a lot of trouble. So obviously the dust of invisibility or whatever it's called, you throw this out and you go invisible. It's only 2d4 minutes. Not very powerful at all. Yeah, it's gonna get you out of a jam. You might be able to steal a few things, but I wouldn't really worry too much about it. However, as I said, if they think they're about to go invisible, then they throw out this other dust, which is like a 30-foot radius, 10-foot radius, I don't remember exactly, but everybody within that radius has to make a 15 con save, or they're basically incapacitated until they succeed, which could really screw with your players. Also makes them so they have to think on their toes. Love to do that as well. Give it a shot, let me know what you think. And for number 10, this is an item we're gonna have to adjust just slightly because it is from Princes of the Apocalypse, and yeah, not every campaign has those types of things. So this is the balloon pack, and what it does is it allows you to levitate for 10 minutes a day. Levitate's not as broken as flying. I'm okay with levitate. Yeah, you're gonna be able to get past some stuff, but it's only 10 minutes. And even if, like, let's say, you know, you wanted to cross the lake, even if they could hypothetically do it with levitate, you can only hold 500 pounds. You're gonna have to go back and forth. It's not that strong. Alternatively, if they're falling, they can use it to feather fall, which is really cool. But when it's used, a little air spirit comes out of the balloon and goes, see ya, it's gone. How you're supposed to restore it is like a mode of air in the plane of air. You're probably not gonna be in the plane of air, so I would just make this so like it restores at dawn. Like another air elemental stops in for hanging out, see what's going on, things like that. That's my opinion anyways. Man, that sun's getting bright, ain't it? There you go, there are 10 more low-level magical items that you can add to your campaign this weekend if you want. Thanks to my patrons, I'm gonna say over here's where the $5 ones are, my top tier ones, I think. I don't know exactly. They'll be on one of the sides, but I do thank all of you. Here's your name, you're cool. Love you, all that business. And if you liked what you saw, got what you needed, like, comment, subscribe. See you guys in the next video. Later, Gators.